It's in my blood, you know that's on purpose. When you come to me and complain, I'm like, have you ever had to walk again? You know this pain. All those times I wanted to give up, but my purpose wouldn't let me. You think I really care about a hate? I ain't gonna let nobody stress me. I'm really God's child, I couldn't run from this blessing. If they turn their back, never give up, that was the lesson. It ain't no question, I ain't gotta guess about it. I know he worthy, I'm on my knees praying again. I be up early, like God, thank you for getting me out of this situation again. You done blessed me again, I can't thank you enough.
So today with us on Stool Talk, it's an honor, it's a privilege to have the guest that we have today. She is growing up to be a great young woman. God is definitely using her with her platform. Just seeing what she's doing, just seeing how she's excelling and elevating her brand. She comes from a great family, God-fearing. And today we're going to sit down and have a conversation. Today we have with us Miss Cheyera Jacobs. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. I'm excited. So I'm gonna probably be teasing a lot during this.
Hey, that's all good. So first things first, describe your journey growing up. How was it for you growing up?
Growing up was a bit, it was good, and it was a bit like I learned how to be independent growing up. My mom is a worker. My mom she worked, and when she didn't work, she taught me how to cook. Well, she made me cook, and it wasn't no teaching, it was making me cook.
Yeah.
It was I had a very independent childhood, mainly because I was the only child at one point, and then my mom was a single mom, so I helped out my mom a lot. So I had to be more of an adult child than a child, but I did have some kid moments that I wish I can go back to.
Yeah. Well, first off, shout out your mom, shout out your dad,
Yeah, shout
shout
out
out
to
your
her.
Aunt Erica. Great
Yes.
people, like I said, on both sides. So growing up, what did family mean to you?
Family meant a lot to me. It still means a lot to me. My mom taught me that if we don't have anything, we got family.
Yeah.
And even if we don't got them, you still love your family. Like my mom is a big family person. So I learned a lot about family through her because she's always been a ride or die family person. And I've been like that my whole life too, because I love my family, whether they don't love me or not, because somebody don't love me, but I love my family. So I think family is a big part of your life, even if you don't see them all the time.
Yeah, and your mom very loyal. Your mom growing up was always very loyal, very, she did things for others, and had that great heart, not expecting anything in return. How was it growing up? Was it hard because you knew your family was well known and you knew a lot of people knew your family and you knew what great things they did and, the different things that they had took upon? Did that affect you anyway? It felt like you had shoes to fill?
No, actually, no, it didn't. Mainly because growing up, I wasn't as popular as my family was when they were growing up. So I wasn't in the limelight like some of my cousins were because I don't have the last name Draper. I do have the last name Jacobs. And I mean, sometimes I get acquainted with my cousins or like my Aunt Erica or of course my dad because he's well known. But not really. I lived up to be myself. I didn't have no shoes to fill, actually. It was actually pretty great to not look up to people and be like, well, I gotta be like this because they was known to do this. No. I didn't take that into par at all.
And I know your dad gonna be happy because his Michigan Wolverines playing in the big game. But he used to always go and watch a good movie at the shop. That's if one thing you gonna get is a good movie there. Can you speak to the independent youth that's growing up that might be going through the same thing, trying to figure it out on their own, trying to wonder which way am I gonna go? Where do I fit in? Because I ain't fitting in with my family, but I still need to grow. Can you speak on that?
Don't try to fit in. I try to fit in a lot. And I'm gonna speak on me now, like me growing into the woman I'm becoming and trying to change. I tried to get validation from a lot of people to try to see if I fit in and try to be a part of something. When I know who I am, because soon as one thing happened that I don't like, that person from back in the day gonna come right back out, and then I don't fit in no more. So don't try to fit in, because regardless of what's around you, people will form to you because of who you are. People would click to you because of who you are. And I learned that because that's been a big part of trying to find me, trying to find who I am. I'm still trying to find who I am.
Yeah, and that's
So,
one thing I like about you is the transparency, the selflessness, the humbleness. Even on the first live, like I said, somebody shared your live, so I'm like, dang, that was good, So I started trying to share, but I couldn't find it because it was on somebody else's page. But you were speaking to that, you were speaking to the different things that you bring to the table, knowing your self-worth, knowing the things that you carry, or the things that you can bring with a partner, or whether it's by yourself, because you have to know that a lot of times people don't understand what they bring. They don't understand different things, but through trials and tribulations, you learn, because we all been guilty of trying to fit in, and then what it do cause you to have a bad relationship. You didn't got in bed with the wrong person. Now you got kids by the wrong people. Now your life took a turn because of the mistakes you made. But the grace of God's grace is so sufficient, and he's so merciful. That's what can save us. But a lot of times with the youth now, we need to kind of continue to speak on that, because you can save yourself kids, you can save yourself heartache, you can have the right relationship, and only thing with the bad situations is we can learn from them. We can use our platform like we are doing now to be able to speak on those different things. When did you first know that you wanted to, start going live and making things on platforms and start speaking on different things? Because that took a lot. That shows me that you're courageous and you're getting by, and you don't just act like you know it all. You say, look, I'm dealing with that now present moment, but look, here's still some words. How did that take place?
One day I was listening to a lot of podcasts, and I was listening to a podcast, and it was like, I could do this.
Yeah.
And it was just a thought. It was just like, I could do this. And I sat down, because I know how to do a little bit of graphic. So I sat down and tried to make me a logo, and I couldn't think of what it would be called. And then one day I was just sitting there, and I was just like, my soul talks. My soul talks, because me, if you know me, I'm going to speak from whatever I feel like I should say. And if I feel like I should say it, I'm going to say it. So I just felt like if I'm going to talk about anything, I'm going to talk from my soul. Yeah. So I'm going to say my soul talks with Shy. It was a lot. It was a lot to it, but it just came to me. Like, I really didn't think too hard on it. It was just like, I can do this. Like, I could do this. I could sit up and have a conversation with people and talk about things that people steer away from. Like, I can really do that. And I feel like I'm in a headspace that I can do it. So that's how I started that.
And I'm glad you were obedient to what God was putting on your heart to do it, because you could have ran from it. And that's a whole nother story. Sometimes God wants us to do things. He put it on our heart and we run from it. Me, 2018 is when I should have been doing this, but I let trials and tribulations, bad relationship, family, get in my way to, a lot of times the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And that's to kill you and kill your purpose, not necessarily kill you, but take you off your path to what you're doing. And to where you're going, but God brings you back around and say, I got you, son. I got you, daughter. This is the path that I got for you. And it's up to you to walk, take intentional steps, be intentional when you're doing it. What was your early signs at faith? Did you grow up going to church or different things like that? And second part to that, what was your first time that you seen God moving? Like, man, this is real.
My childhood was in church, but not like church like how some of the people that I'm meeting, I'm getting to know. They've been in church, like they know the Bible, they know the verses, they know it like by heart. We were raised in church. We went to church, maybe not every Sunday, but we went to church, and we weren't pressed to learn the Bible. We weren't pressed to learn about church as much. Of course, my grandmother made us to go to Bible study, but that ended at a certain point. Like, if my mama was tired and she didn't want to go to church, we stayed in the house, and that was it. Like now that I'm in a different state of mind, I tell my kids, I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I went out last night. We're going to church. I'm going to church hungover, and I will sit there and with everybody, because growing up, I feel like if I would have grew up that way, I probably would have, a lot of things would have been different. And then again, probably not, because I know some people that grew up in church that are on a bad path, and that's because they chose it. But I do wish that my childhood church life was a little bit different. But I seen faith when I almost lost my life, when I was having my twins and I lost them. And to God be the glory, I didn't lose my life too. And I started going through depression, and I tried to commit suicide. And God kept blocking it. God kept blocking it. God kept blocking it. And then I just kept doing stuff just not to get attention, but just to be free, like drinking to the point where I don't remember anything. And I started seeing God keep blocking a lot of things that I should be somewhere else. I should be in a different headspace. I should be in a different place. And he kept blocking a lot of things for me. And I just realized, like, one day I was by myself. Actually, it was New Year's Eve. I was by myself New Year's Eve. My kids was with their dad. And I stayed in and went to sleep. And I woke up the next morning and I said, I want to get closer to God. I want to get back into church. I want to go to choir rehearsal. I want to start attending Bible study. I want to change my life around. I want to get to know the Bible a little bit better than I do know it. And that was just faith, because it saved me from a lot of things that I could have been thinking about that next day. Like, my kids not here, I can finally try to commit what I've been trying to commit, or do the things that I've been trying to do, and I turned my life around right then.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. And you're always gonna be in my prayers for that, because that took strength, courage to even, tell that story. To when I had kind of see it, I ain't know all the details, but as you saying that, I just thought of God saying, as I know the plans that I have for you, plans to make you great, plans to give you favor and to make you prosper in that. Because a lot of times it's situations that push us through to where we want to go, like me going to church, but then I'm in a bad relationship. So the relationship got so bad, it was just something that was crazy that I couldn't believe. And I said to myself, like, Lord, like, I'm tired of having one foot in, one foot out. I'm trying to fit in. I'm trying to find this and I'm trying to find that. I'm ready to start walking with it. So in your walking, did you have family members or friends that kind of acted different towards you, or did they respect your decision to walk towards God and purpose?
Actually, I had a lot of friends. I had a lot of friends that respected it, and they pushed me towards it because they knew the things that I was going through and the things that I was doing and the things that I have been through. And they thought it was a good look for me. They thought it would be better for me. And even some of my friends have gotten back in church. We all said we do the journey together, and some of us fell back off, but some of us are still continuing it. And I think that I'm glad that I have the group of friends that I do have, because they are what helped me push. Like, my kids helped me push, but my friends held me up, because it's so much my kids can do. So I don't think I had bad friends that was like, I did have family members, or like my kid's dad. Oh, you think you safe now? You act like you ain't never did this, you ain't never did that. I remember when you used to. So what? I don't care. And I still would be like that. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, God forgives us of all our sins, and once we pray and ask for forgiveness, that's the reason he died on the cross for us. And that's good that you got a community. But even saying that, like, you and your friends just keep going, keep taking intentional steps, continue to be great and go for what because God takes you from glory to glory, and we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. That's why it's good what you're doing with your platform. When you think of the word purpose, what do you think of?
When I hear the word purpose, I always think in my back of my head, trying to find my purpose. What is my purpose? Like, So this us doing this right now, and I'm in my head, I'm like, where is this about to take me? Like, what is the purpose of me continuing this, and where it's gonna lead me? Like, I think of what is my purpose when I hear purpose. I don't think of my purpose. I think, what is my purpose? Like, where am I going? So
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. What do you think we can do to bring more of the youth to Christ, and even people our age or even people your age, to allow them to see, the change and the benefits? Because that's what it is. The benefits of being in the kingdom or going after God. What do you think we could do to win more souls?
Be honest, be
Yeah.
transparent. A lot of the young girls that I meet and that I come in contact with, I tell my story. I tell my story. I don't have no problem telling my story. Back in the day, I probably would have been more scared to tell my story, but I'm not scared to tell my story, and I'm not scared to be myself, and also show them that me being myself, I'm still in church, and I'm still loved by God, and I'm still blessed, and I'm still continuing to achieve things, even though I still go out, I still do this. You can still be yourself. Next, hey, saints were sinners too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have to be myself. I have to be transparent, because
Yeah.
if you knew my story, you would understand why I give God all my glory, because I have came from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Man.
think that's best.
Yeah. Oh man, that was good. What are some ways that you can, since you have a platform, what's some ways that you can do on social media to bring light to God and to bring light to, your image, your brand, and just overcoming, being a new creation in Christ?
So I try to I try not to steer from a lot of people, because I know I have people that I'm acquainted with that I don't believe that much, and they're not, but they like what I talk about. So I don't try to put too much of God on them, or people that listen to me, because I know there's people out there that listen to me that have their own beliefs. So
Yeah.
I try to keep an open mind in my platform, and I try to, just like I said, continue to be myself, because me being me will open up to a lot of people. But also, I have to let them know that I am going through a change. So if I talk if I get on there and talk all about God, and you don't want to listen, that's fine. Don't get on my platform that day. But
Yeah.
I'm going through a change. So sometimes my soul might just be talk about one thing, and then the whole conversation can end up being about God, and then it just turned into that whole situation. So I just feel like if I can put myself out there on social media as an honest person, I feel like it can attract people who are scared to conform, or to talk to other people, or to listen to other people about God.
Yeah, and I just pray that God continue to bring all the people who need to hear the words that you saying, the words that He's downloading inside you. I just pray that He continue to use you in a manner to get them, because them seeing the connection and seeing your transformation, like you said, your friends, now it's gonna be another person. Like I said, it called me. Like I had to go back and listen again. Like, it was good, and then I couldn't find it to finish it, because you were saying something. You wasn't just on there waiting on my live to get up. Come on in, y'all. Come in. Yeah, where everybody at? Yeah, blah, blah. It wasn't saying that. You were saying something. So you using the social media for positive. A lot of times we use it as negative, or not walking that walk, because we talking about one thing, because you got eyes on you. That's him. That's her over there on that social media. They ain't living for Jesus. They ain't walking right. The question I want to ask you, with the transformation, how would this affect your relationship or the next relationship you get in, or even if you're in a relationship now, how would it affect you, being that you're trying to walk and that you gotta be equally yoked, that you can't be trying to pull somebody that they have to want it, because that can mess you up, or cause past traumas to happen. So now your focus ain't on God when we're supposed to be looking towards God. Now we looking to bring them up, or because a lot of times I used to be feeling like, I'm with this person, I'm gonna get them saved, I could do it. Sometimes we spend a lot of time, energy trying to get that person together, and we tear down ourselves. So how do you handle that in this aspect now?
So I'm currently in a relationship, and the person I am in a relationship with, he is a minister. And so, but we grew up from different backgrounds.
Okay.
So with my take on that is, I am who I am. I have my own relationship with God.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change myself to the point where I don't know who I am because of your position with
Yeah.
God and your job with God, your what you took, your oath you took to God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we take different platforms, and like I still do a lot of things out here. I go out with my friends. I drink still. But also I feel like it's a balance. I
Yeah.
have to be able to balance my life and then my relationship and then with God. And I always keep God in everything I do. Even when I drink, I keep God. I bless the bottle. I keep God in everything I do. So I'm not gonna say that me being in a relationship and trying to conform to where he is, I don't wanna change who I am.
Yeah.
So I don't like with my previous, because I was married to my kid's dad, and we tried to get to church together. We weren't equally yoked. It wasn't a match made by God. It was more, we're trying, and we made this pledge to God and we're gonna try. It wasn't that. We couldn't go to church together. We couldn't even stay in the church long enough together without having issues. So this relationship and him being closer to God and me getting close to God, it's kind of it balances out, because again, we're two different people, but with God, we're the same person.
Yeah.
We can still have the same love.
Yeah, and I'm glad you saying that, because you are allowing people to see that God, he'll come get you in the state that you in. You ain't nowhere near to where he gonna have you or where he's gonna take you. That this is just your beginning state.
Yeah.
Sometimes people think I'm not ready. I got to do this. I know he wants you as you are. He says, "Come as I are," because he gonna be able to minister to you. You might be doing this and do that. So then when you start growing in the word and you start growing, then you'll find yourself detaching and leaving old things behind you, because old things are passed away. Behold, all things are new, and he's doing something new in you. So if you just get on here and be like, I'm good, I don't blah blah blah, that's not real. So people need to see the purity in you. They need to see what you're doing and see what God is doing. How do you balance being a mother, being a Black woman, working, having a brand? How do you balance that to keep yourself close to God and make sure that you good?
It's hard. It's really hard because I've been, I could say that even with I was married, I've been a single mom. I was single mom. But me actually taking care of my kids on my own and trying to find myself, trying to find my purpose, trying to live in my faith, and also trying to have a life and take care of them, it's hard and it gets tiring because I work third shifts and my kids go to school during the day. I pick them up. I attend dance class with my daughter, and I'm doing all of that off of 3 hours or 4 hours of sleep. And I go to choir rehearsal on a certain days. I try to attend Bible study on a certain day. And then after that, try to help with homework and get ready for me to go to work and get them prepared. And then now I'm about to add on going to school because I'm starting nursing school. And then I'm doing all of this, and it gets tiring, but I know I'm doing it for a purpose. And he didn't put it in my spirit to do it for a reason. He knows
Okay.
that I can do it. So, and I've been doing it. I've been juggling, even with the 4 hours, 5 hours of sleep. If I get an extra 25 minutes, I feel like I got 7.
Yeah.
Like so, so I think it's how you look at it, and you got to think about where you're trying to go.
And he's seeing how he can trust you, and he gonna have you leaning closer to him because you're gonna have to. I'm tired, Lord, I need you. So now you're intentional. Before we close out, can you give some words of encouragement to the youth who may be struggling with identity, who may be struggling with their walk in Christ?
With identity, you got to love yourself. When you start loving yourself, no matter who you care about, who loves you, God loves you, but you got to love yourself too. Because when you start loving yourself, you start to notice things about yourself, and you start to see what what you can become, and see who you are, and you can tell what struggles that you have been doing that you can change. And it starts with self-love. Like once you really love yourself and you start taking care of you, you don't care who you are. You know who you are with God, you know who you are to yourself. So I feel like that's self-love is a big thing. Like you have to love yourself, because then you can know who you are. And what was the last part of it?
I what I say. Oh, and just walking with God.
Oh, and yeah, so and that's another thing, just keeping the faith that God is gonna keep you in your mind. That's pray for him to keep your mind, because if anything, I don't care if I lose my toes, my fingers, my leg, let me keep my mind,
Yeah.
because I want to stay sane, and I want to stay with with my faith, and I want to keep my head straight. So I think that's the key to staying with God, is just praying, even if you're talking to him like me and you talking right now.
Yeah.
Just tell him like I'm struggling with this, help me, be a lamp upon my feet and guide my way. That's why I pray every day. I pray that every day, be a lamp upon my feet and guide my way. Pray for my mind and pray for my spirit, because sometimes my spirit don't be right. So I think that's one way you can do it. That's about all
Yeah.
I can say.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was great. That was great. You said it all. And then getting to know the identity of yourself, you got to get to know Christ, because we're made from Christ. Christ will be able to show, God will be able to show you all he needs to show you when you get to know him.
Yeah.
Well,
And
how can everybody see your podcast or follow you on those different, times that you post, and when do you post?
so I usually post every Thursday at 8 o'clock, but I've been getting myself prepared for school.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to take a different platform of actually having like a voice on podcast, because I was just doing lives at first. So the last 2 weeks I haven't been posting. Um, I haven't been keeping up with my content, because I'm trying to see where I can fit that in when I start school. So
Yeah.
probably gonna be switching up my times. I'm probably gonna be switching up my days when I post. So, but on Facebook, you can reach me at My Soul Talks with Shy or Cheyera Jacobs. Um, that's the only platforms I have for my business
For
right now.
now, for now, my
For
niece,
now,
for now.
but it's gonna. I can see myself elevating more, because I see things that he's putting in my heart, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure it out.
And it's definitely not the last one. We're gonna connect way more. I got different other topics and different things that that I got that I want to share with you. But we just thank you for coming on here, man. I'm so
Thank you for
proud of
having
you.
me.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you, man. May God continue to bless you. May he give you the strength and the capacity to be able to do the things, care for your kids, go to school, have the energy to work, and even to have the energy to be able to go after your purpose. Walk in
Yes,
your purpose, on purpose, be intentional in everything you do. No weapon formed up against you shall prosper. If God is with you, who can be against you? No matter what
right.
nobody say, niece, man, keep doing it, because you are doing God's work, and it's great. And I'm proud of you, man, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that one. I like that. And walking your purpose, even if it's on purpose. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So we thank you. It's been great. Like I said, this ain't the first time. This ain't the last time. We're gonna be in touch.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
thank
enjoyed it.
you. Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.